Hello,
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good.
You're still
I
in
think,
DC?
huh?
And you're in Washington still?
I'm still here, and hopefully, I'm getting out of here on Sunday with this
It,
storm that's coming through here.
I know.
They got the whole city's crazy.
It's very
Ah,
cold. It's very cold, right?
it's very cold. It's cold, but today was 55 degrees, 50 degrees. But
How much?
it's supposed to drop overnight into the low teens.
Hmm.
Anyways, we'll see what happens over Shabbos.
Uh,
Yeah.
Senor Jorge,
Señor
Uh-huh.
Mario.
how are you?
Ah, all good, all good.
Good.
Watching and monitoring all the crazy world.
Oh, I give up already.
That's probably true. That's probably true. Hi, Abe.
Hello.
Hello, good evening, everybody.
Hi, Walter.
Walter.
Walter, Walter.
Hi, everybody.
All right.
Hi,
Hello.
Ernie.
We are on Daf Yud 10. We asked, why did it have to write that you have to put the oil on the thumb and the big toe of the kohen, on the right thumb and big toe? It had already said place it on the blood. Well, the Torah already said that the blood goes on the big toe and the thumb. So it seems redundant. So the Gemara says, Chad lahachshir tzodim, that if you placed it on the side of the thumb or the toe, it would be kosher. But chad lipsol tzidei tzodim, but the side of the side, for example, the bottom of the toe or the bottom of the thumb, that would not be good. Then there's another redundant statement, al dama asham. And then it says, al makom dama asham. What do you need both? Lamayasu. This also has to do with that you also put oil for the mitzorah on the dam of the asham, which is on their thumb and big toe. So it's richi. If the Torah only would have written, put it where the blood of the asham is, havamina isay in this kanech law. I would have said, if there's blood there, put it. But let's say it's been wiped off, maybe you don't put it. Because al makom dama asham, you put it on the place where the blood is placed. Because al makom, if the Torah would have only written place it on the place, havamina dafka niskaneach. Maybe then I would have thought, oh, you only put it if there's no blood. You have to clean it. Aval is say, but if there's blood there, ema have chatzitza. Maybe I would have thought the blood is a chatzitza, separation between the oil and the skin, and maybe it's not good. Kamash al dama ashram, that no. Even if putting it on the blood itself, the dam is not a chatzitza. Amarav. Al dama asham v'amakon dama asham. So now that the Torah has written both of these, and then eksiv yemanis bedam, it says that you have to put it on the right thumb and big toe, because it's written to do that by blood, but then it repeats it by the oil. Al boen yodo yemanis v'bon roglo yemanis b'shemen de mitzvah asher v'ani lamali. So el amrav a yad l'kmitza. So we learn Gzeira Shava. It says, "Itena kohen al tnuch ozne miter yemanis, v'abon yado yemanis, v'abon raglo yemanis." Everything is on the right. V'yimale chapo mimena. When it says that the kohen has to fill his palm with the flour during kmitza, it doesn't tell you what side. So yad and kaf, the Rishonim learn is Gzeira Shava, to tell you that the kmitza has to be done with the right hand. Regel lechlitza. When the Torah tells us, it says v'chaltzana alo me'al raglo, that if the woman does not want to become yabim, so chlitza is done. So the woman has to take the shoe off the brother who wants to do yibum. Well, what foot? So since here it says bo and raglo hayimonis, we learn raglo Gzeira Shava to teach you that the shoe that is removed during chlitza is the right one. Then oizen l'ritzia. It says normally an eved ivri is sold to pay off a debt, and then at the end of 6 years he goes free. Now let's say he liked it as an eved, so he decides to stay. So he stays until Yovel, and he has to have his ear pierced. Now which ear, the right or the left? Well, since here it says ozen yamanis and it says ozen there, we learn Gzeira Shava, since these words are extra, to tell you that when you come to pierce his ear, you pierce his right ear. Okay. The Torah says to pour the oil smally slamayasa. It says to pour it into the Kohen's left hand. But then it's repeated with the case of the wealthy Jew and then the poor Jew. Amrav Shisha ben Vaidi lives so yamin the Kohen b'mitzvah, to tell you that it's not just a choice, left or right. No, it invalidates the right that you cannot use the right hand. Shaloi tomar, uma b'bakom shlo nisra b'smal nisra b'yamin. Whenever the left is not particularly mentioned, we know you do it on the right. So b'makom shnisra b'smal eno din shnisra b'yamin. So the Torah clearly wrote left. Certainly, it might include the right as well. So it had to be repeated smallies to say that the right is pasul. The idich smallis l'mayos. There are other smallis relating to the mitzora ani, the one who has no money. What do you need those for? It's a new din regarding the mitzora that has a lot of money brings that, and the mitzora ani brings that. That's all. That's the chidush. Nothing else has to be mischadesh. Amar Rabbi Barchanan Rav Shimon ben Lakish. Kol makom shenemra etzba ukahuna. If it says Kohen and etzba, eino el yamin. It has to be in the right hand. You need both. The Kohen took from the blood of the chatas with his etzba. this is referring to placing the blood of the chatas on the corners of the mizbeach. The gomar mimitzora. Through Xer Shava, we learn here from the mitzvah that has to be done by Yemanis. Dichsi v'tova l'kohen es etzba o Yemanis. However, Hare Kmitza, the lo ksiva ba l'kuhuna. So Reish Lakish seems to say that it's got to say etzba and kuhuna to give us a din of right. But by Kmitza, it only mentions kahuna, utnan, kamatz b'small pasul. Our Mishnah said if you did Kmitza with your left hand, it's not good. Well, why? It doesn't say kohen and etzba. Amar Rava. Rava explains Rish Lakish, o etzba, o kahuna. It's not and. It's not etzba and kohen. It's either or, etzba or kohen. Abaya, I'll ask you a kasha. When you offer a korban ola, you shecht the animal, you collect the blood, and then you strip the hide and you cut the animal into pieces. And you lay the pieces down on the ramp. You have to schlep these pieces to the ramp. And then from the ramp, it gets thrown on the mizbech to be burned. Now, it says, the Gemara tells us that pasuk refers to the Kohen dragging the pieces of the Ola to the ramp. Utnan, haregel shel yamin bismol, ubeis ora lachutz. That you needed a number of Kohanim to carry these things. One of the Kohanim carried the right foreleg in his left hand, and the hide with the hide facing outward. But you see, he's using the left hand, even though it's only kahuna that's mentioned. Now, according to the way Rava learns, using o etzba, o kahuna should tell us that the avoda has to be done with the right hand. Ki amin an o etzba kahuna. When does Rava say this din? That either the use of etzba, the word, or the word kohen means the right hand. That's only b'dover ha'ma'akev kapara. That's only an avoda that if you didn't do that avoda, the whole korban is ruined. Now, what are the four avodot that are ma'akev? Shchita, Kabbalah, Hoilacha, and Zrika. Dragging the pieces to the ramp, that's not ma'akev. Even if you didn't do it, you'd still have. Once you did Zrika, Sadam, Manola, you have kapara. So, when you have a non-essential avoda, then the word kahuna alone does not mean that you must use the right hand. Kabbalah, which is Davra Makib Kaparu, without Kabbalah you have no atonement. Uksiv Bakuhuna, it says Kohen. Dichsiv, Vikrivu bnei Aaron Kohanim Esadam Zu Kabbalah Sadam. The Gemara says over there that refers to the avoda of Kabbalah, and it says Kohen. Yet, and it says Utznan, Kibel b'small posel, but Rab Shimon Machshir. You use your left hand, the Tanakama says it's possible, but Rab Shimon said it's okay. How could Rab Shimon learn that it's okay? It says Kahuna, and it's an avoda that's kapara. The way Rava explained Reish Lakish, etzbo Kahuna should demand the right. So the Gemara says, Rab Shimon, come, you're asking me about Rab Shimon Tarti boy. Rab Shimon doesn't hold like Reish Lakish. You need both the words etzbo and Kahuna to delineate that you must use your right hand. Without both etzbo and Kahuna, Rab Shimon is a Tana. So he doesn't have to hold like Reish Lakish. Oh, says the Umi boy, Rab Shimon Tarti. Does indeed Rab Shimon require both the words Etzba and Kahuna to denote the right hand? I'll show you it's not so. Vatanya, Rab Shimon Oimer. Kol makom shenemra yad. Whenever the Torah uses the word yad, Eino al yamin. That's without Etzba and without Kahuna. Also, if it says Etzba, Eino al yamin. And without the use of Kohen. So you see, Reb Shimon, L'chor doesn't need both. Oh, says the Gemara. Etzba lo boy kahuna. The word etzba is sufficient for him to demand the right. But kahuna is not. When it says vayikrava kohen esa whatever, he could still use the left hand. Kahuna alone does not denote the right hand. Kahuna boy etzba. To make the right hand, it has to say kohen and etzba. Okay, if according to Reb Shimon, the word etzba alone is needed, why did the Torah use the word kohen? Kohen lamali. To teach me b'chihuna that the avoda has to be done with the kohen who's dressed in his begodim. So we've established that Reb Shimon, if the Torah only uses the word kahuna, it does not demand that it be done with the right hand. Vare zrika delok ksiv beyala kahuna. By zrika doesn't say etzba and kahuna. It just says kahuna. So you would think, based on the way we've been explaining so far, that you could use your left hand. However, it says utnan zorak b'small posel v'loy polik Reb Shimon. There the Mishnah says if you did zrika with your left hand, it's possible, and Reb Shimon doesn't argue. So it seems like over there, the word kahuna alone establishes that you need to use the right. Amar Abaya, fine, I agree. In the Mishnah he didn't argue, but Palik, the Brisa. But there's a Brisa where he does argue. The Tanya, Kibel the small posel. If the Kohen did Kabbalah with his left hand, the Tanakama said it's posel. But Rab Shimon Machshir, we already had that. But here it says Zarak b'small posel of Rab Shimon Machshir, because it says kahuna only, and we said according to Rab Shimon, kahuna only does not establish that you must use the right hand. But the way Rava explained, not Rab Shimon, the other Rabbanim hold that either the word kahuna or the word etzba demands then that it has to be done with the right hand. We explained above that there were some extra words by Mitzorah, and we said we use that yad to the kaf, that the Kohen fills up his kaf with the mincha, to say that it has to be done with the right hand. But the kasha is, what does Rava need? The gzeira shava lamali mikuna nafka. It says over there, the Kohen, and we've established O etzba, O Kohen demands right. So the Gemara says you need two limudim. Chad lekoimetz, that the kmitza, the initial kmitza has to be done with the right hand. V'chad lekiddush koimetz, and then when you put the kmitza into another klishos, which you have to do, it also has to be done with the right hand. Okay, the gzeira shava said that we needed yad to say that you need the right hand. But the Rab Shimon, de lo boy kiddush koimetz. Rab Shimon does not require when that you put the kmitza in a klishor that it needs to be done. It doesn't need to be miskadesh in a kli. Or lemando amar nami the boy kiddush koimetz Rab Shimon. Or even according to the mandoma that says Rab Shimon requires putting the kmitza into a kli. But uvi small achshuri machshir. But Reb Shimon said it's okay to do it with your left hand. What did we do with the gzer shava yad de Rava lomali? I thought the yad told me it has to be done with the right hand. Ilik meets a gufa. So maybe you'll tell me, well, we're not talking about throwing the kmitza into a new klisharis. We're talking about the original kmitza. Well, alibid Reb Shimon, Reb Yehuda, Braid, Reb Chia Nafka. The din that the initial kmitza has to be done with the right hand is taught by Reb Yehuda. Don Reb Yehuda, Braid, Reb Chia. My time at Reb Shimon. Reb Shimon says you don't have to put the kmitza into another klisharis. Once you do the kmitza, you can throw it directly on the fire. My time at Reb Shimon. The Omer Kra. Kodesh Kodeshim hi kachatas v'chasha. A mincha is considered Kodesh Kodeshim, like a chatas and like an ashram. And why compare it to chatas and ashram? Ba lo oivde biyad, oivde biyamin kechatas. The Kohen has a choice, in essence, Lefi Rab Shimon. You can do the kmitza with your hand and never use a kli, or you could also use a kli. It's either or. And that's what the kachatos ka'asham teaches me. That if you're going to do it biyad, you got to do it with the right hand, like you do a chatas. Because the applying the blood to the mizbeach, we learned is etzba v'kuna has to be with the right. Now, bala of the bekli, if he's going to put the kmitz in another kli shares, oivda b'smol kasham. He can do it with the left hand, as we see certain things with an asham are done with the left hand. So again, we ask the question, we already see from this limud that if you're going to do the kmitz, has to be done with the right hand. What did I need the gzeira shava? Yad from Rava. Lo nitzrach ela koimetz de minchas choite. So there's a specific kind of mincha called the sinner's mincha, minchas chote. What's the minchas chote? We have a number of averos, like tumas migdash ugdosha. Person forgot that he was tummy and he wandered into the base of Mikdash. And then we told him, oh, you were tummy when you walked in there. Oh, I was a shogeg. He brings a chatas oile v'yoyre, a sliding scale chatas. What's a sliding scale? Chatas based on your wealth. If you're wealthy, you bring an animal. If you're less wealthy, you bring birds. If you're an ani, you bring a mincha. The mincha was an unendured mincha. There was no oil and no lavona. It was dry, without hidur, because you're a sinner. So the yad is to demand that even a minchas chote, the kmitz has to be done with the right hand. Now, why would I think that it should be any different than any other mincha? We learned that mincha needs right hand. Well, what's special about the minchas chote? Oh. There's a notion by a minchas chote, since it doesn't have shemen and it doesn't have lavona, that it should be not a mahudr dik korban, and therefore ki kometz lunami b'smoltis kasher. So therefore, if you come to do the kmitza with your left hand, it would be kosher. Kamash malon, this gzeira shava that Rava brought of yad says that even a minchas chote requires kmitza biyamin. Okay. That's where we left off. Now, that's where we leave off. Tomorrow, 3:00. Good evening.
Good night.
Good evening.